Every time, now I say every time, this is the second time Dave has either not shown up or been late, and I just remember all the load-ins that he missed or
Zero.
or was late to.
Dave,
And
Dave.
wait, Dave? Okay, I was like,
Dave never missed a. Dave was never late to anything.
Dave had all the equipment. He
Dave had
drove
to,
the
Dave had to
truck.
drive the trailer.
Dave. Dave was annoyingly early to things.
Dave would like go off, like we'd have a show in Massachusetts, but he would go to like Foxwoods and play poker just until like 40 minutes before we started playing. It was really annoying.
Yeah, totally sounds like Dave.
He fell asleep in his car after we played, like after we were supposed to play or something. I would think was I sick that day?
I feel
I
like
got
you were always sick.
I got super sick in Austin.
Georgetown, we were playing that night. That was that. Maybe not tonight, but we're going to talk about that show. That's still one of my favorite shows.
We have to talk about. We have to talk about that. A lot of things about that.
Which the Georgetown did I not play it? Was that the
He
show
did
I
not
missed?
play it. Alan Villarreal played it.
Andy Porta played some of it.
Yeah, we used American Pinups drummer for like two or three songs, and yeah, and Alan Villarreal.
And didn't Jimmy play like a song or two? What was his name?
Jimmy Franklin.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Jimmy?
I don't. Did he? I don't think so. He might have.
We had three drummers play that night.
Then maybe Jimmy did play. Hector. You
talking
about Hector or Jimmy?
Oh, maybe it was Hector.
Yeah, it would have been Hector. Jimmy was just there to wear those zebra striped.
So weird.
That was my first time meeting him. Was that
I
all of
was
our
just
first
talking.
time?
I was just talking to Jimmy about this the other day.
What does he do now? Is he still in music?
He does a bunch of music stuff. His kid's got to be getting one or older. I don't know,
Yeah.
right around one.
Is Hector still with Lost in Society?
No,
Is Zach the only OG in that band now?
no,
Nick's
Nick's
there
still
too.
there.
Or Zach?
They got another guitar player and a different drummer.
These questions are probably going to be watched by our viewers, so I apologize for my ignorance. Is Zach still with Lorne? The last.
Man, I hope Zach listening.
I apologize. It's the last I spoke to them. They were together. I'm sorry. I haven't talked to Zach Moyles in like 12 years. 12 years.
Should I get him on the phone and you can ask him like?
I don't want. I never really had that kind of.
Write that question down, Matt, and we'll ask him we'll have him on the show.
And he's a guest.
Yeah, we'll have him on the show as a guest, and you can ask him.
I'll ask him what happened.
Holy shit, Dave's here, man.
Dave's here, but he's not.
He had said his video working, the audio's not working.
Trying to figure out how to unmute the mic.
Dave, go get Katie to help you.
Dave, we can't hear you. Oh,
wait.
Hey! We can't hear you. Your audio's not working though.
He's deaf.
He's lips. Yeah.
I actually figured it out. I'm just messing with you guys.
Yeah.
Aware.
I was gonna say, are you the boomer in the group?
Dude, are you like ripped right now, or did you just are you just puffing your chest?
No, I'm just like ripped.
Swell.
Super ripped right now. Been working out like crazy.
You look like Mario on roids.
I bench press fire trucks now.
Woo!
Wow.
That was for you, Kyle.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep. Hang on, let me get my headphones on so I don't, disturb the entire neighborhood.
Ricky, when you mix all of our vocals, can you turn Dave way down?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just basically gonna put him in the background.
Yeah. Are we isolated now, Dave, in your ears?
So, Dave, the only thing that you missed so far is that Matt is as well in touch with all of the bands we used to play with as door guys were with him in Danbury.
Yeah.
Ah,
Remember
Yeah.
Remember Matt they used to try and charge Matt a cover.
Oh, who did I?
every time
That was at
Larry's.
Larry's. I don't remember his name though. He was
Larry's.
so-
Every
he was
time
so-
at Larry, they'd be like, $5.
$5. I'm like, I'm in the fucking band.
We play here 3 times a month.
That guy was super nice though. I can't remember his name. He had a long beard, and it wasn't. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Super Bob something.
Oh,
Bob
Bob Shine.
Bob Shine.
yeah.
No, the only thing you missed, Dave, is I asked if. Sorry to bring this up again. I asked if
Guess
Zach
what,
and-
guess what
Zach
the
and
name of
Lauren
this
were still
episode
together.
is.
Which I guess there's a story
It's gonna be
behind
sorry
that.
I asked. No, actually, it's gonna be
No.
top 5 because we're gonna be doing top 5s.
Yeah.
Hey, so
It's
I
not
want to
gonna
try
be-
something. Can everybody hear this audio?
Yep.
I can't hear.
What the fuck is wrong with you? All right, Matt, you're just getting left out.
I'm the only
Matt's
one
the
who
boomer
can't-
now.
Oh, now I hear it. Oh well, Dave.
What did Dave do?
Dave
Dave's
put
trying
his,
to get
like,
comfortable.
he put his speaker up, and I could hear it. Like I could hear it through Dave's, but not through
That's
you.
really weird.
Yeah, it's so
Well,
weird.
considering I have headphones on,
I'm on my company's laptop though. Like I'm on my company laptop, so it might.
tell your company to get a better laptop.
I
Or
know.
just get a real laptop.
Yeah, it's just fucking Dell. Gross.
Whatever.
Oh, so just to clarify, I am drinking Miller Lite nowadays.
Hey, throw it
We're-
back.
We're going way back.
Well, hey, in my things to bring up in my show notes for today, I did have talk about the storage space. So maybe we could talk about the mass amounts of Miller Lite we drank there and the foosball we played.
6.
But the controversial topic between all of us four is the top 5 list that I came out with in terms of our best ever written songs, with number 1 being Ice Fight, number 2 being I didn't write these down, so I'm trying to remember them by heart. So excuse me. Yeah, I know, right? Number 3. Okay, so number 2 was Last Man Standing, right?
Yep.
Number 3 was Deep Head. Number
Uh.
4 was
Anchors.
Anchors.
And
No, so number 2 was Anchors. Number 3 was Deep Head. 4 was Last Man Standing. 5 was Late Nights.
Right.
Because it was always our closing. So thank you.
So
Rick.
Matt, right.
Right.
So Matt, you want to do an introduction? Say hi, everybody, like you did last week, and say, all right, no, we're just going right into it.
Just
So
dive right in.
dive right
right
in.
Dive
Top
right in.
5s.
Dave, go.
Go
Oh,
Dave.
What do we
on the
think?
spot.
Are we doing
Okay.
the top,
Yeah, let's just do
doing
our
the
top.
5?
Just
Yeah,
jump
let's do our
right in.
top 5s. That's what we're
Last
starting with
episode,
today.
last episode, we discussed my top 5 and why it's the best list that we're going to have out of the 4 of us. And now we can talk about your top 5s.
You know, I can kick you out of the Zoom, right?
That's fair. Can you rip apart?
No, I think Dave should go first because he deserves the most scrutiny for not showing up last week.
Fair.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I had to make money and provide for my family.
Seriously, get your priorities straight.
I'm working on that.
Yeah,
So
we
the kids
already
are-
mentioned that Katie did everything, so we did
Yeah,
talk
well,
about.
That could have
Hopefully,
been the name of last week's. Last
Yeah,
week's
Katie
podcast
did everything.
was called Thank God for Katie.
thank God.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, thank God for Katie, or else my kids would not be as great as they are right now. So, but I
That's
got
what-
one of
That's
them's
what I
working
said,
now.
and they yelled at me.
Oh man, really? Okay, but I got one kid working now, so he's making his own money and can do his own thing. So he's
Jesus.
self-sufficient.
You can't send him. You can't send him on your on-call shifts.
Oh no, I've already done that. Like, hey, I have to go do this thing, cover for me. He's like, okay. So I'm like this is kind of pretty awesome. Have my built-in, cover guy. But all right, so let's get back to brass tacks here.
What is the best song that Two Fisted Law ever wrote, Dave? Between
it has to be-
United We Sit and
In my opinion, D-Ped, like Drunken Pedestrian.
That's your
I think
number
it's-
one.
That's the number one.
You
Um,
sell out.
What?
What?
How is that
Shut
a
up.
sell- What makes him a sellout for saying you put D-Pad on your list?
Yeah, it's not number 1 though.
Oh, come on. Like, everybody
Are we
loved that
gonna
song.
we should just
Spoiler
go,
alert, it's not on my list.
did we do everybody's number one, then everybody's number two?
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, we can do this. It's
See if
like
anybody matches. Like,
kind of white elephant, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Let's all do number.
Okay, so Dave picked Deep Head. Did anybody else pick Deep Head as their number one?
Didn't even make my list.
It didn't make my list either.
I picked Ice Fight. Did anybody pick Ice Fight as their number one?
Nope.
You're Ice Fight. Nope.
What do you got,
Kyle,
Kyle?
what was the best song we ever wrote?
Late Nights was the best song we ever wrote.
Absolutely, hands down. That totally agree. Totally agree. I even like it's got one of the best hooks. It was written as a group. It's authentic. It's the title track of our best album. Like it's anthemic. It has our story. And it's hands down the most complete song. End of story. David and Matt are wrong. Kyle and I are objectively right.
Objectively right. I bet you if you ask anyone outside of this circle who even remembers that band, like they're gonna say Late Nights.
I think they would say Drunken Pedestrian.
No.
I think it's time for a survey.
I think Dave has a point with picking Drunken Pedestrian.
I just learned how to podcast. I don't know how to pick this off.
I think they would say Astro Zombies was the best song we ever wrote.
Oh,
Astro
yeah.
Zombies?
Oh, we totally wrote that.
Late Night is a better song.
Than anything that the Misfits wrote, really, if you think about it.
Well, we played it a lot better than the Misfits.
Yeah. All right. So are we on to number two?
Dos.
Number two? Number two.
So Matt, restate what you had as number two.
Anchors Away only because I wrote it. It's only partially true.
That's because he didn't hear the song that I tried played for the test audio.
Oh,
so, man, like Blue Collar Hero could be up there. Blue Collar was a fun song. I hope Blue Collar's on Ricky's list, but we'll see. Anyway, Dave, number two.
All right, so number two would have to be Late Nights and Bar Fights.
Well, then here we go.
Like, so that's
drawn twice in a row.
So that song is on all of our lists.
Well, okay, it can't be number one because Deep Head was, took that spot.
Technically not.
But yeah, so I mean, Late Nights and Bar Fights, like you said, it has our story. Great, like everybody, really liked that one. Everybody sang along and danced. It was great.
Okay.
Kyle?
My number two is Bring the Fight. Best intro to any song we wrote.
Even though we ripped off another band that we figured out at the Empress.
Name it. Name the other band now. Go. You got 3 seconds.
So what was the question? I just
totally
Blase Debris.
The colored testicles. I got nothing. I don't know what they were.
What was the question?
We gave them a shout out though. What was the name of the band that we cut? Like their intro and our intro to Bring the Fight sounded exactly the same.
There was one. Who was that?
We shouted them out at the Empress. We were like, "Sorry for ripping you off," and here we go, 1, 2, 3, and then
I think they ripped us off. I think ours was first.
No, that was in Poughkeepsie, wasn't it? At the Chance.
Yeah, the Chance. Yeah. Oh, not the Empress. Sorry, the Chance. Sorry.
It was Blase Debris, wasn't it?
No, it was a basic name.
We were writing punk rock. We were writing punk rock songs in like the 2010s. Everything had already been played by somebody.
Yeah.
None of it was truly original. It was
probably true. Probably true.
And Ricky, what's your number two?
So I actually, I could show you my list here that I had Bring the Fight on my top 7, but it didn't make the top 5.
Oh.
So my number two is Taking Notice. I love that song. I think we made that very clear last week. I just think it's a really cool song. I loved playing it. I think it had a lot of drive.
So we didn't play it much after like 2010. We just stopped playing it.
Oh yeah, we just stopped playing it, and I hated
As
it.
our,
But
I think as our like
It was
as our
the,
library grew, like I think we had more.
I think we just part of it was we played it for so long because it was
Yeah.
one of the first songs that
It used to
you
be
know,
our opener.
yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Metal Salad? Metal Salad's my number one, by the way.
I still remember parts of that.
It's 012, 013, 014, or 012, 014, 015, I think. If I'm tabbing it. Anyway.
I know what you're. I know what you're trying to
Steve
say.
Guitar.
Unfortunately, I don't have a recording of that, so it will never get. It won't get plugged into the.
We
the
never
actual
we
audio.
never went far with it at all, I don't think. Hey buddy, that's cute dog. Baby.
Oh yeah. Here's Herbie. Say hi, Herbie.
Oh, that's a
Over
cat,
here.
Matt. That's not a dog.
My larger dog would think it's a cat, and you're absolutely right.
My dog would eat it or try to eat them.
All right, so my number 3 was Deep Head. So top 3, me and Dave, same kind of like.
Wow, you guys are in lockstep.
I don't have Bring the Fight on my top 5 though. Like I just don't, and I don't know why. I don't have a good reason why. I think it has the hookiest chorus that maybe we've ever, like with the woes in the background.
I did realize something like,
But I was right.
To further hammer home my earlier point that we didn't do anything original. I was listening to, going back through like, just to remember to build my list. I was going back through like the United We Sit stuff. Some of those songs, first of all, are great songs that are just recorded so bad.
That's the whole album.
I don't know. What? How did you even know?
I would love to build on your point though. I would love to fly to Connecticut.
Sorry.
Okay.
This is my point. So Jim, Good Religion is the same lyrical song as Bring the Fight. We ripped ourselves off time and time again.
Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
What was the chorus? The world that we live.
Go back and read the lyrics to those 2 songs.
Okay.
Oh, you're saying kind of lyrically.
Yeah, lyrically they were.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, I wasn't really on as far as the music goes.
No, I mean it's a totally different song.
Well,
but to emphasize
so many
point,
parts. Like I would love to put Good Religion on a list, but oh my god, that song was so long.
That was 5.5 minutes long if we wanted it to be that song. But I would love to fly up to Connecticut and then like go back to Silent Owl or whatever and re-record United.
I don't think it exists anymore.
Well, you know what I mean, like the equivalent.
I think it died in the pandemic.
The equivalent of like getting that kind of sound, but then re-record United We Sit properly. Obviously, there's no gym now, so there's that. But we could fill in that.
Right, but that would kind of be weird. I don't know.
It would be an interesting experience.
So
emotionally,
the original recording of Good Religion clocked in at 4:52, and then the album version that was released was, for all you stoners out there, was 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
I think we cut Dave's bass solo by like eight measures.
I think we just sped it up because we didn't have enough money to record everything.
My bass solo was only 8 measures.
Could have been better.
All right. So what did you say?
Number 3 was Deep Head, so we go to Dave, and then he has to say his number 3.
No, number 3, Ice Fight.
Me and Dave, man. Me and Dave.
Like,
you guys are bros.
We got that bass.
We've never done anything original. We can't even get 2 guys in the band to write a different list.
Might as well just wore the same T-shirt.
Okay, who's wearing a Sad Plant shirt? Anybody?
We're just talking about that. That's how Matt got. Remember, that's how Matt got that New Jersey Turnpike shirt. Him and I were.
You guys were with the same Jesse Minute shirt.
You can't wear that Jesse Minute shirt. I'm wearing that Jesse Minute shirt.
Jersey Turnpike. And we made him wear it all weekend.
Oh my days!
What assholes we were.
That's the one where we went to.
Matt, we were not always nice to you, and I'm sorry.
It's fine, dude. Don't worry about it. I wasn't always nice to you. Do you want to know a secret? Secret time.
Whoa.
Let's rip off Bert Kreischer's. Secret
Taxi cab
time.
confession.
The first practice that I was ever supposed to have with you guys, I believe I was texting you that like I couldn't make it, right? Like I was like gonna postpone to the week
I
after.
think you told us this already.
I was totally fine. I just didn't want to drive all the way up there from
Mhm.
West Nyack or wherever the hell I lived at the time.
That was it. That was the whole story.
That was it.
That's
can't,
it?
You know, there you go.
That
I'm anticlimactic. What do you want?
yeah. There is no surprise for me for that story.
Because you guys, at the point where you guys were like, we will drive down and pick you up if you want us to, I was like, no, that's fine.
We didn't have anything better to do.
I have to go there. No.
So Kyle, what's your number 3?
My number 3. Sorry, I wrote them down because I knew I was going to be high.
Double tap.
Ballad of Forgotten Souls.
Ballad. Ballad was fun.
Like that song we played from the first record. All like we never stopped playing that.
We never didn't play it live.
When you guys all quit the band, we never stopped playing it.
And then you re-recorded it on Brothers Keeper.
We,
It sounds good. It sounds good.
and like some of the stuff that went on Brothers Keeper that we re-recorded was the stuff because the first record was so shitty. You know,
Yeah.
I wish we had put more of those songs on Brothers Keeper and turned it into a full length, just to re-record them with Elliot, who did like everything, like since Late Nights that Two Fisted Law did or I've done, and like it's like those songs, they're the same song. They're just like we maybe changed a couple of guitar parts or something, but like re-recorded, they're great. We kept playing them for.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
never
they
on that song was never on the chopping block like when we were deciding for a live set.
No,
It was never like we gotta get rid of ballad. It was like, no, ballad's gotta go on there. Just where? And it was in the middle typically, or first 3.
Yeah.
Ricky, your number 3. Speaking of 3.
So my number 3 was actually, so I cheated a little bit on number 3.
Call Kyle.
Because I went with, and this is totally from a live perspective. I went with Commercial Mess into Anchors. I love, especially when I was playing bass, like I love doing Commercial Mess into Anchors and doing that as like a single song that kind of flowed into each other.
That's the only way Tom knows it.
You should have tried it on the drums.
That's probably the only way Tom knows
That's
it.
the
I
only way
believe
Tom
that.
knew it. Like every single time. Like we didn't like
you couldn't
couldn't
play
break
it. It got to the point where you couldn't pull. Yeah, you couldn't pull. You couldn't separate.
Tom would put it in, like even if you separated it, Tom would go right into it because he's just like, those are one song.
And it was
Am I remembering this? Am I remembering this wrong? Did we decide before we went on at a show somewhere? You guys came up to me and you were like, "We are going to combine these 2 songs." On that last hit in Commercial Mess, just go right into Anchors.
Right into Anchors.
Did we decide that at a show though?
I think we decided it on the fly.
And I feel like it was at the Chance.
And I don't think it.
I feel like it was like
It might have been like the Loft or something like that. I don't think it was the Chance show.
Oh, you mean
Definitely wasn't the big stage.
Yeah.
Because we didn't change much on the big stage. Like whatever plan we had, we stuck to it, and just didn't change anything on the big stage. So it's probably like at one of the like the Loft, maybe at Cousin Larry's.
And we might have tried it on Upstart, like at one of those shows. I don't know. I remember just like talking about the idea and then going into it, and it fucking worked great, and we did it for years after that.
Because Commercial Mess ends on a D, and then it goes.
Yeah, and it just goes dun dun right into it. So I kind of combine those 2, and I want to sort of bring them up because obviously, Matt, you had Anchors on your list. It's a very strong song. And I love Commercial Mess because I love, punk songs that are driven by the bass line. So like that, and it was one of the heavier, harder songs, kind of slap you in the face kind of songs that we had. So it was different. I think the 2 worked well together. It was like a really nice complement of what Two Fisted Law did. And I loved playing it that way. So that's my number 3. It's kind of
Further I could
kludgy,
get you
but
guys to like the metal scene I was always happy. So Commercial Mess is a good song for me because I was like, let's move this ticker just a little, let's see how far we'll push it before they say that's not what we're looking for here. So, but not speaking like right into it. Number 4 for me was Last Man Standing. One of our, like, again, I said this last week, like, discount the intro, little groovy intro, but then right when Kyle starts with after the drum stop and Kyle starts, from then on, that whole song is just like
it moves.
I just got punched in the mouth. So that's my number 4. Kind of, I always thought that was an underrated song. We did play it live probably 70% of the time, I'd say. That was one that might have been on the chopping, like definitely not if we were with heavier bands. If we were with heavier bands, like we gotta play Last Man Standing. But
so when Tom came into the band, he really liked that song, and we played it quite a bit with Tom, and that was why Kyle was saying, but we had to kind of figure out where we put it in the set list because he'd be like, "I love that song, but I'm tired."
Yeah, my worst nightmare would be like if you did ballad, Commercial Mess into Anchors, and then Last Man Standing. That would be I would pass out. Dave?
By the way, for everybody listening, Matt's in the worst shape out of all of us.
No, not
and has always been.
You were definitely huffing and puffing on some of those sets. I remember.
Oh, when I came back in 2017, when was it? It was rough. It was really hot at that venue. The name of it is slipping my mind. I know it's
Fast Eddie's.
Oh yeah, Fast Eddie's. Yep.
Right, it was in August. Yeah.
I'm cheating. I'm looking. It was August 12th.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking at the show poster. I'm cheating.
What's your number 4, Dave? And let's go 4 and 5. Let's just do your last 2.
4
Why?
and 5.
Why are we skipping ahead?
Oh, it's gonna be 50 minutes of us talking.
Well, we've got time to kill, so.
All right, so go number 4. We got it.
All right. I mean, number 4. That would be ballad. We just went through that list. So, do you want me to drop number 5 or?
No, go, Kyle. Number 4.
I did the same as Ricky. I picked Anchors Away as my number 4 because of the Anchors to Commercial Mess or Commercial Mess to Anchors. But 4 was the hardest one for me because like that's where I put Good Religion. That's where I put like Deep Head. I'd put there like. And
you had to figure out which one to cut.
Yeah, so I have like a run-on number 4, but like my first rock solid number 4 was Commercial Mess to Anchors. It was literally what I had.
Kyle, we were so close.
Being different.
I had ballad at number 4. we were
Yeah, we
tight, bro. We were tight. Just flip those. Yeah, so my number 4 was ballad.
Great song. Always a great song. It was the second song I ever learned with you guys. I remember bringing Weber in to the dentist office, and he was rocking out listening to that version when I brought in the double bass. So
I did make some notes when I was mixing the episode 1, and I did put in my notes that Our Own Way Home was the song that became ballad. Mm-hmm. By Harder Than Ignorance. Just throw it in there as a little factoid.
Shout out to Harder Than Ignorance. Hashtag. And my number 5 to stay on originals was Deep Head.
Number 4.
Or no, Late Nights. Sorry, Late Nights.
Late Night. Okay.
Did we talk about Late Nights yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about the right
way to mention it. Where it belongs in the pantheon.
I have a question for when we're all done with this, and then we'll go. So, Dave, number 5.
Okay, before I give you number 5, honorable mention to OPC, just because that intro was a little bit different.
Part of my number 4 maybes. It was like, oh man, that song was.
That's not my number 5. It's an honorable mention.
That one goes in the category.
Number 5 is number 5 is Anchors Away. So.
All right.
OPC goes in the category of write topical songs, but don't make them too specific Because that one was so specific to like a 1 or 2 year time period in like
right.
It
And
doesn't translate well in
and like
2024.
Eventually, we're just like, we gotta sit. It doesn't make sense anymore.
We wrote it, and then like the following November, it didn't make any sense anymore.
But it was still fun to play.
Then there were kids who came out to see that. I remember a group of like young kids in Danbury who used to come out just to see that song. Like it had found its way onto some comp somewhere, and like there was this group of like 4 or 5 kids who used to hang out at the. It was probably the Heirloom at that point. And they came for that song. They were like, OPC. And I'd see them like years later and they'd be like, oh, you're in that OPC band. I'm like, yeah.
Teddy Bear Massacre.
Teddy Bear Massacre.
We are the OPC.
For those who don't know, there was a show where we bought a bunch of stuffed animals and threw them into the crowd and wouldn't stop playing the breakdown until everything was destroyed.
Which didn't take that long.
Didn't take. I remember the one guy standing in the middle of the pit. He just had the bear on his head.
The bear's head. Good times. Whole garbage bag full of teddy bears.
Yep.
What's your number 5, Kyle?
It was Main Street, motherfuckers. You could buy a whole bag of teddy bears down the street from the punk rock show.
The last one, Kyle. What was it?
My last one is Ice Fight.
Okay.
I love playing that song. I always love playing that song. Like, it's just fun. Like, it was a fun song to play. Great, and I love the chorus. Like, the way it switches up from, I don't know.
Went to halftime. We didn't do halftime a lot. Not really halftime, but not like a...
Like cut time. All right,
Ricky, you're last on your list.
All right, last on my list, number 5, and I think you guys are all going to hate me for this. I put "Gather Round" because it was a song that the 5 of us wrote, even though it wasn't on United We Sit and Late Nights and Bar Fights.
Can't remember it that well. I mean, I remember it, but I can't remember.
I mean, it's basically a Stranger song at this point.
Yeah, we play it every show. We close every show with it now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kyle had the first verse of that song for like years.
Yeah.
Like I remember he had that like first verse down, but he didn't quite know like where to go with it. And then eventually, found a way. But like he had that song for a long time, and it was great. But it was just like, okay, where do we go for part 2? And we just couldn't quite find it yet.
Just waiting for some kind of horrific global tragedy to coax the rest of that song out of me.
Yeah.
Millions of people had to die for that song to be written.
Yeah, it's a great song. Everybody kind of like has an interesting part in it. I remember the morning after we finished recording guitars and leads and vocals, while I was mixing, I was like, oh, this part could use a lead. And I was fucking so hungover and added in a little extra solo in one part. And everybody's like, oh, well, that was really cool. And oh man, I felt terrible. I think that was wasn't that the night that we got the monkey banana bourbon or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that stuff? Oh God, I felt
a whole bottle that night.
No, there's still a little bit left. There is a little bit left. So Matt, when you come up to re-record United We Sit, we're gonna make you drink that stuff.
Learning about Kiss was
because we did the first 4/5 of that bottle without you, and it was so gross.
So yeah, for everybody listening, I made a joke just that. So Two Fisted Law would have a penalty for me, where I would have to read Kiss facts during recording United We Sit, because I didn't join this band as a punk rock fan. Like they said, they were like,
I'm still not a Kiss fan.
And they were like, do you know some punk? They were like, do you know some punk rock? I'm like, yeah, I know Green Day and Offspring. They're like, no. Do you know Social Distortion?
We're talking Kiss punk rock.
Yeah. Do you know the Misfits? Do you know who Henry, whatever that guy's name is? Because I don't know punk rock.
Most of all.
Straight up hardcore. I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm a Slipknot guy. I'm a System of a Down guy.
Yeah, wait, we got to stop for a second. I'm sorry. Have you ever heard Kiss?
Yeah, Strutter is a great song.
Do you think they're a punk rock band?
No, but I'm saying you.
God, thank God.
No. I'm saying that the punishment was for me to learn Kiss. It wasn't like
No, it was just for you to read the album liners.
yeah, and learn about the band members and
We didn't care. We were just, it was a penalty.
Yeah. Really, there was going to be no quiz. You didn't
it
have
was
to.
it was a good troll.
Yeah. If we could talk about the greatest troll ever. Nah, we shouldn't.
Was that when I bought
Yes.
When you bought what?
nothing?
We can
Nothing.
talk about that offline.
Yeah,
All right.
that was an interesting moment.
Greatest night of my life.
I imagine it. Well, I just remember the look on your face when I walked in, and I was like, it was him the whole time. I deserved it though. I was such a prick back then.
We all were. We were terrible people back then.
No,
We all had our moments.
I was pretty bad. No, Dave, you never had a moment. You were always.
Oh, I had a couple moments. I had a couple hissy fits.
No,
I only remember one ever. Literally.
Yeah.
Dave never left.
David's
Dave never left.
like, I had a hissy fit. I was complaining this parking lot was too small.
Yeah.
You remember we were playing in Farmington, Connecticut.
Oh, is that the show that we left Matt on stage by himself?
No.
Son of a bitch.
We were playing in Farmington, Connecticut at like some, I don't know, it was like a strip mall or I don't even remember what it was. And Dave wanted to leave and we were still drinking. And so it was with my friend John Dotson's band.
Yeah, that was the one that we left Matt on stage and we all went and did shots at the bar.
No, that was Cherry Street.
No, it wasn't. We might have done it at Cherry Street.
Listen, it happened like 3 times, so just pick a time.
The first time it was that Farmington show because Dotson set that one up.
But we were inside drinking and talking and probably drunk, and Dave did the entire load out by himself. And we're like, oh shit, where's Dave? And they were like, oh shit, where's all the gear? And we immediately figured it out. And we went out to the parking lot, and Dave scolded us like children.
Where was I? Did I leave?
We're not loading out.
I must have driven myself and left because I don't remember.
I just remember Dave motherfucking all of us and basically be like, get in the car. Get in the truck. Motherfuckers, get in the truck. And we just drunkenly slithered into the truck and didn't say a word on the way home.
There was a horror experience with Dave driving, and then Ricky got sick at a
Wawa.
Yeah, a Wawa.
And threw up
started walking
outside
out.
the window.
That was in Jersey.
Ricky's puking out the side of Dave's truck.
I thought the sandwich would save me. It did not.
It had a lot of horseradish on it, if I remember correctly. Because that's all you could smell for like a mile was horseradish.
I don't think that was the problem, Dave.
Well, it didn't help. It was a catalyst.
Yeah.
That would be the most Ricky thing to do.
No, I remember. Okay, I remember.
Drunk as shit. 4 o'clock in the morning.
Gas station sandwich.
And you just cover it in horseradish. Like everybody knows it's a bad idea except you.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, kind of like the time we pulled off of 84, exit 17 to the park and ride, and I drove over a pile of McDonald's fries, and Kyle
Best
ate one.
fries ever. Yeah, Kyle did eat a fry off the ground.
That I drove over.
I think we were coming from like Boston. I was starving.
And a little hammered.
And probably a lot hammered.
There was also the time that we were driving back and Kyle and I were arguing science and faith. I think that was coming back from Boston.
That was from Boston.
Dave passed out.
No, because I started that. Okay.
Maybe
that was from Boston because I started that drive in Boston. You guys started that conversation before we got off the street that the venue was on.
It was about
That-
the multiverse, I think.
That conversation went for the next hour and a half till we got to a rest stop. We used the bathroom, got back in the truck, and I was like, I'm tired. Can somebody else drive? You guys continued the conversation. I was in the back seat. I fell asleep.
Yeah,
We got back to my house. I woke up. You guys were still having the conversation.
And you were
You
like,
left my
"Are
house."
you guys still talking about this?"
No, you guys left my house. I went to bed. I woke up the next morning. You were still talking about it. It went on for like 2.5 days. Like, how do you guys debate something for 2.5 days? It just went on forever.
I don't know if
Very-
you know this about Kyle and I. We both like to be right.
And we're very smart.
And we were arguing very subjective things. So there is no
We were
way.
talking about like I think we talked for 3 hours about the multiverse. How were we
Yeah.
not? And we were just drunk.
Yeah, we weren't even that drunk because you
That's
took
fine.
over for you took over for Dave driving.
I thought you did. Maybe
No,
we were.
Ricky
I don't
did.
know. Whatever. Not the point.
I know. I was exhausted, so I was like, okay, I'm not driving anymore. So I had to like catch
The
some
point
Z's.
is we weren't even like us hammered.
But you guys just went off on your tangents and just it was
neither Ricky nor I can stand a silent car ride. So any port in the storm. Alone with my thoughts. No, thank you.
So Ricky, what's the topic for today? What are we discussing?
Well, I thought the topic for today was the top 5. We kind of got that out of the way early, which I think is a good thing. I
think we should do a whole show, a whole discussion, or whatever this is called. I think we should do a whole one on just the pandemic recordings.
Yeah, we will. We can do that.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I kind of already brought it up. A lot of people don't even know about them because we were kind of hoping to play those songs on like a, excuse me, on a late nights and bar fights reunion, possibly in 2022, and then, that never happened. So I think it would be really cool just to even kind of like talk about that time. There were a lot of things going on then, and there were a lot of artists that were struggling, and it's an interesting time to talk about how we all kind of dealt with that era.
Yeah, that was a weird. Obviously for everybody, it was a weird. What was it? 2.5 years, almost.
almost 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I remember shooting you guys a group text and being like, "What's everybody doing?" Like I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and I was like, "Would anybody have interest in just like writing music and sending it back and forth?" And like I could buy an electric drum set if that's what you want to do.
And well, we had already started getting together and like
yeah, I
playing some
remember.
songs
I remember you guys were
acoustically.
like, "That's such weird timing. We're already starting to do stuff." So I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But we can have a whole show on that.
Right. So one note I did make, because we mentioned it at the end of the last show, we did want to tell the vertical driver's license story. Do we still want to do that?
Yeah, I would love to. It speaks for itself. So from what I'm gathering from the lyrics.
Well, it doesn't. Well, some people listening to this might not live in Connecticut.
It's fair. So when you're under 21 in Connecticut, you have a vertical driver's license, meaning your photo is vertical. And then after you turn 21, it's horizontal.
They print it horizontally.
So Kyle wrote a song about Ricky, and the first lyric is, "Monday night, Ricky met a lady." Well, not legally a lady. So take it from there, because I don't really know what happened.
All right, so we were at Billy Beans one night, and there were these two. What's that?
Was it no?
No. Open mic. So open mic was happening at Larry's. Okay, because this is important to the story. So open mic was happening at Larry's, and you and I were at Billy Bean's pre-gaming, and we met these two ladies at the bar and started chatting them up. And I want to preface this by saying, we were like, I was probably 25, Kyle was probably 27 at the time, so there's not a huge age gap here. It's going to be important to the story. Chatting these two girls up, and they say, "Oh, where are you guys from?" We're like, "Oh, we live in Danbury. We grew up in Newtown." And they're like, "Oh, we grew up in Newtown too." Probably their worst mistake of the night, because I was like, I started. We might even been a little bit younger, because I started doing the math, and I'm like, "Oh, well, when did you girls graduate from Newtown High?" And they're like, "Oh, 2000." I was like, "My sister graduated in 2000. Do you know her?" And I said her name. I said her name, and Kyle was like, "I'm weird that they I don't really know. I mean, Newtown High is not a big school. Like you at least know the people. You don't really, you may not associate with them, but
everybody could name everybody else in the entire high school.
Exactly, especially since it was like 3 or 4 years out, right? But whatever, we continue chatting them up, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And we're going over. They're like, "Oh, we're thinking about going over to Cousin Larry's for open mic night." And Kyle and I are like, "Well, we're definitely going over there for open mic night." So we go over, and we do our thing, and they're hanging out, and so I go. There was the smoking area out back. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, you go out the back door, and there was the big open area. So I go out, I'm talking to this chick. We start making out, and she's like, "There's something I really got to tell you." She's like, I didn't graduate with your sister. And I'm like, "Oh, where are you from?" And she goes, "No, I graduated in whatever it was, 2004.
She's
So,
my age. Wait a minute. So she was 16?
no, she was not 16. She was so whatever year. So this year,
we are not sure. We are not sure how entire.
I think it was 2005. So I think she was 19.
I graduated in 05, and I was one of the older because I grew up in New Hampshire, so the age to get into preschool was a year ahead. So I had to do or the age to get into kindergarten was a year ahead, so I had to do preschool. So I graduated in 05, and when I graduated, I was turning 18 that October.
All right. So either way, I'm very good at math, so I was able to do it quickly and be like, "Oh crap!" And I just went over to Kyle. I was like, "Yeah, I was like, you were right to be suspicious because she's 19."
But that's not underage.
And I'm like,
we had to leave.
Yeah, but like,
I guess it's just like, oh,
it's not. Yeah, but at the same time, like, she's at the bar illegally.
Right.
I'm not going to blow up her spot, but also I don't want to be associated with this situation, so we need to go.
Yeah. And Kyle made a song about it, as you do, in the most Kyle way.
Oh yeah, he didn't let me live it down. Like, I mean, if I'm being honest, I was the one getting made fun of, yet I was the one who was deceived in this story. So really, I did.
Also, the only one making out with a girl in this story. I mean, what Kyle struck out? That's the sequel to the song.
Oh no! Kyle was being a good wingman. The friend was not.
Kyle always struck out.
No, the friend. The friend was not. The friend was not the target. Kyle was just being a good wingman that night, and Do you
remember her name? I mean, it was 20 years ago. It's okay if you don't.
Oh wait, did she get? No, I think that was somebody else. Weren't we in a bar? Or no, we were. So it was, I think, Upstart Festival, and there were a bunch of us there, and something came up, and they're like, "Oh, don't you have that girl's number?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." And we went through my phone, and I did. And I don't remember, was it the vertical driver's license girl, or was it some other girl that we had a terrible story with? And the question is, do I still have her number? Hang on a second.
This is breaking news if you do.
I wouldn't even know what it was, actually. I would need help.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to scroll through real quickly and see if there are any single names that pop out at me. Oh, maybe it was like, was it like Lindsay? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, she sounds like a bitch.
Make sure you put all of this online.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all definitely going online.
Just because some of this is in audio format. It's Ricky staring at his phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys can talk about other stuff, whatever. I mean,
So what happened with Lauren and what's his name?
I don't think this is the place to talk about.
yeah, that's not. Yeah, exactly.
Ricky said we needed some filler, so I was gonna
Let's talk about other people and their relationships.
listen. I haven't talked to him in 12 years. I never really.
Oh no, then it's probably totally cool to have that conversation.
I don't even know if he would consider me his friend. So there you go. I never really got to know him that well.
So I was going back through some old recordings, and I found the what plants crave. I don't remember if you remember doing this, Kyle. This was the day that Kyle and I. So this goes back to the me, Dave, Jay, and Mark days. And Kyle, sorry. Playing in the storage space, and we had tried recording some songs, and we couldn't get Mark to do any of the lyrics. So Kyle and I, we were probably super hungover because it was a Saturday, and we went and just decided we were just going to finish these songs. And so I went back and listened to them. So there were 3 songs. One of them was Teenage Haze, kind of done familiar. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to try and say that right now. One was This Life, which ended up becoming Taking Notice. And then the third one was Last String. And one of the things that I thought was so funny was Teenage Haze and the use of the wood clacker on Teenage Haze.
It was plastic, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
It was a
plastic
wood clacker. Yeah.
Like excessive use of the plastic wood.
Like
clacker.
Jay was hitting it instead of a ride cymbal or something.
So proud of it.
He was using it instead of a cymbal.
Oh man, see, this is the problem. You can't hear the audio. I was gonna play.
Sorry. I'll listen to it later and I'll be able to hear it.
Oh yeah. Oh, this actually had the long like doot 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 doot.
This is gonna be
almost late
excessive.
night, by the way.
I mean, it's not a bad recording for DIY. There's the wood clacker.
The tap track we never took out.
Just not on beat.
It never was.
That if it was, we wouldn't be having this conversation, guys.
Tell you what, the late night version doesn't sound a whole lot different than that.
I think that's the first time I realized that was when we first started, basically started rating late nights. It's pretty similar.
Never knew. Well, I wasn't there, but you know.
It is. I think when we brought that song back, we got rid of that opening part and just went right into it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have to bounce in a few minutes, but I'm going to leave a question to all three of you with this. But if you can answer right now, great. I'm going to ask you three to go first, though, because I have to think about mine. Favorite show we ever played?
I think I already said this, didn't I?
And Kyle, I just froze.
You froze.
You froze? You're good.
You froze.
I froze for a second. My connection's unstable. It's like me. Did we answer this already? Am I losing my mind?
Well, Kyle, I think you brought up like we talked about like
Favorite
drinking
shows?
drinking to like relieve our nerves, and Kyle brought up, the shows that the two shows that he was nervous about, one being the Misfits Reverend Horton Heat show.
Right.
That was like the biggest show we've played.
Where we both played the same cover song.
Everyone yelled at us for it.
He did. I don't think he yelled at us, but
No.
We did not listen to the Reverend Horton Heat enough to know that we were gonna play their cover before they did. It wasn't intentional.
No,
That's one of the memories I have in my head now.
because
Lives there rent free, right in the front. Every time I'm like every time I'm like,
he mentioned it to us. So it was the lead singer of Reverend Horton Heat, me, Kyle, and Jerry Only hanging out backstage, outside, and the discussion came up about, oh man, I can't believe you guys played Folsom Prison and this and that. And Jerry's like, whatever, you guys did an awesome job. He's like, I love playing with you guys. I like open with you. And we chit-chatted for a little bit. Reverend Horton Heat had already just played, and the Misfits were getting ready to play. And so Kyle, myself, and the two of them, we chit-chatted for a bit. They walk away. And I just remember Kyle taking a drag from his cigarette. He's like, that just happened. It was a surreal moment.
One of my favorite shows was
But I don't think he brought it up in front of the band. I think it was just when we were talking to him
He
afterwards.
said it on stage.
Oh, they did say it on stage. You're right. Yeah.
one of my favorite shows was definitely at Snapper McGee's Torrington. I can't remember which one it was because we played there a lot. Might have been the time that they had that, like the guy with the stand-up bass. It was like that kind of the jazzy kind of. I mean, it was punk, but it was the first time that guy.
Coffin Cats.
What's that?
It might have been the Coffin Cats. Yeah.
Coffin Cats.
Yeah,
like the punk rock psychobilly band.
And then the first time we opened for the Misfits, I think was when the Patriots were in the playoffs, because like we did a little set break, and Kyle was like, "Does anybody know the score of the Patriots game?" Asking the crowd.
Playing the Cowboys.
Yeah. But no, those are like, I really like those venues. Empress Heirloom had a lot of good I mean, Larry's, the prom show when I came back, that was my first show back with you guys. That was a fun show.
Yeah. Like Larry's had we had a lot of great shows at Larry's.
Yeah.
Like it was it was a small venue, but it was very intimate. It like everybody came out, packed the joint, sound was great. It was just Larry's was probably like one of my favorite places to play.
I think the Rap Meets Rock Festival was probably my favorite.
Oh God, why would you bring that up?
27 people got arrested that night.
It was just another night Kyle's guitar got broken.
That man called me a racist.
Oh,
well, he wasn't wrong.
I know.
Whatever. That's a story for another time.
That's a different episode.
That sucked. We did a show. One of my favorite shows, other than the big one, was we did a show. This was after all you guys fucking left me. We did a South by Southwest show where we had bought a shitty van to get there. We were like driving to Texas and back to play like 6 shows in Texas. We didn't book anything on the way there, anything on the way back, because we all had to fucking work. And so we buy a shitty van, we drive there, it breaks down. And we had budgeted like an extra couple of hours between when we were leaving and when we had to be there to play a show. And we got the van fixed. It needed like an entire new fucking wheel bearings. That was a fun story. It caught fire on the highway.
Nice.
Jim jumped out and just screamed, "Let the man with the tools come by!" And here comes Tom with like bottles of water putting out this fire. We got into Austin at like 10 minutes before our set time, literally pulled up, double parked on 6th Street in Austin, when we were like, maybe they're going to tow the van. Maybe they'll let us get away with this. We got a 30-minute set, unloaded onto the stage, played the set, and then like went on our way. But we literally basically loaded out from Connecticut to Austin, Texas.
God.
– That sounds awful. That sounds like a logistical nightmare. I would have had
But it was awesome. It was
19
awesome.
hours of agita.
It was
That
probably
sounds like that sounds like
probably
I
our
would have
best
needed
set
so
that
much.
whole South by.
I would have needed so much Klonopin on that trip. It's not even fun. That was a cool memory, actually. When we toured, going to Kyle's house, going to be like going fishing for the first time off the dock.
Also wild. This is why you had anxiety and couldn't make it to the first band practice, because the first time you went fishing, you
Dave's
were like
gotta pee.
24.
Yeah, I was 24. Stopping at I can't remember the name of you guys will all know the name of the racetrack that we stopped at.
Bristol.
That was really cool. Bristol Speedway.
Dave,
Bristol Motor
He's
Speedway.
not here, man.
Yeah,
sorry. Dave is peeing. Come on, it's been an hour.
It's probably true.
That's 100% true.
Or if somebody needed something like,
No, Dave is 100% peeing right now.
A whole show on the catheter car versus the iron bladder car.
Because you guys didn't really share the same love of NASCAR that Dave has.
Yeah, I'm like a in and out fan.
Enthusiast.
yeah, like, I definitely, going to school in Florida and, living, a mile from the racetrack and selling beer there, like, you get into the sport. And you kind of learn the culture and the drivers and blah 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 blah. So like, it's just like, it's like learning a language by immersion.
Yeah.
So it was very cool to go see Bristol. I thought that was kind of awesome. And they were, it was the week before the race, so they were down there painting the start line and everything. And I thought that was a really good idea to stop there.
What was the first show we played? Was it Arkansas or the smoking restaurant? Were they allowed smoking still?
Virginia, probably.
Oh yeah,
it was in Virginia.
Yeah, that was rough. That was just rough to play because of the lungs. But
I remember the following year playing in Oklahoma City. And what was the name of who were the guys from the band that we met in Oklahoma City?
It was the guys from it was Garrett from Red City Radio.
No. We met Garrett at the venue we played.
The guys from
but beforehand, we went out to dinner and sat in the smoking section at dinner, and I was like, holy shit, this is insane. It was like,
you guys remember
it was Jeremy.
Jeremy and
from the Lost Empires.
Yes.
You remember Bulldozer? I like that band.
They were. I still talk to Kidney every once in a while.
Brian Kidney.
Poor Kidney.
We would talk about football like on Facebook, and then like we would talk about politics before it got too fucking stupid.
All right, so before I leave, because I do have to leave suddenly, I'm sorry. Everybody's projection: Patriots end of the season record. Where are we?
I hope we don't win another game and we go back to the top of the draft board.
2-15.
2-15. Are we going to put Drake May in at any time in the season?
Oh, yeah, he'll get plenty of playing time.
He'll get playing time, but don't.
I'll tell you what will happen, because you guys, two of you will be fans of that. Dave, you're a Yankee fan, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mets are going to sweep the Brewers here in a second. Just saying. So go Mets, for those of you who like the Mets.
Matt, are you betting on sports?
No, I'm looking at the scores. I was.
because
I'm waiting for the
that's right.
Yankees to play the Royals. I'm so glad Baltimore.
He
got knocked
has 3 draft
It's like playing the stock market, man. Don't bet on things you don't know about.
Take the emotion out of it.
That was my
Calvin Coward.
heart. That was my heart. But anyway, as always, fellas, excellent to catch up with you. A little bit shorter of an episode this time if we're stopping.
was it?
Like an hour. It's an hour.
Yeah, it'll be an hour, and I'm gonna cut some stuff out, and
Yeah.
I'll do a little better job editing. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep them to under an hour.
Yeah.
I'd rather do more episodes that are shorter, and people listening, if you want to
So is next week our first guest? Is it Mike Terry?
he wants to come on.
Good luck.
Bring him on.
He was. I really wish I was in the band when he joined because I really wanted to play with him. I kind of wanted to join Jukebox when Joe left. For like I don't know. I wanted to do both bands. I don't know. Call me crazy, man. Jesus. Norm is a much better drummer than I am. Still want to do it though.
This is interesting. We're gonna have to explore this later. Maybe we will get Terry on next week.
I was young and stupid.
But you didn't want to play shows.
No, I want to record.
Well, no, he wanted to play shows, but he didn't want to do like all the loading in, loading out stuff.
Matt never wanted to play shows.
Did. No, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to practice.
Not want to be in like dive bars and tiny venues playing shows.
Yeah, and if you take me plus Kyle and multiply by 5 playing shows, that's like Terry.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Couldn't have those bands at the same time. Too busy. For someone who does, we were already playing.
What? Jobless Matt was too busy to play in 2 bands.
Hey, I had a very solid.
That's not what I mean.
I had a very solid part-time job at CVS. I don't want to hear.
I mean, both bands were too busy for Matt to play in both of them.
Hey, Rob doesn't make a lot of shows.
I think this was in that period where I had left Two Fisted Law, though.
You left Two Fisted Law because you didn't want to play shows anymore.
You wanted your weekends back.
I
didn't want my weekends back. I was really.
Your weekends were spent back in a bar playing poker.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing you guys walk in, and I was like, "This is weird." But that can be another episode too. That will be on part of another one.
Oh.
But as always, guys, great to catch up. Love you guys as always. Maybe next week we'll have a guest or 2.
Yeah, we'll talk to.
Or not. Start advertising for guests, Ricky. We'll get guests on.
Start advertising. I'm like the least social media person in this.
That's why it hits the. That's why it hits the most.
Ricky, the word media was not necessary in that sentence.
Kyle will get somebody on.
I can ask Terry if he wants to.
He did say he'd like to come on for a couple minutes.
Terry and I have the same free time now.
Bravo to him and his family. And bravo to his. Have you heard of JBR's new song, Kyle?
Yeah, rips.
Yeah, really cool. All right, guys. Well, much love to you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Later, Matt.
Talk soon.